So we've already talked about how to navigate our stitches with the screen, right? Now let's go ahead and take a closer look at all these different stitches that are found on the front of your machine. Now again, remembering that the 2030 is going to look a little different. So when I go according to the different numbers, your numbers may be the same at first, but they're probably going to be different a little bit later on. So just go ahead and pay closer attention to what the look of the stitch is, and then you'll know exactly what it means on the 2030. So let's take a look, for example, at 02. That's our lock-o-matic stitch. I'm going to go ahead and bump this up to 02. And let's take a look and see what happens at the needle when we use this stitch. I'm going to go ahead and lower my presser foot, and let's begin to stitch. And automatically, it's going to stitch backwards on its own. Notice I didn't have to do anything in order to make that work. I'm going to go ahead and bump up my speed here. Now, when I'm finished stitching, I've got to tell the machine that I want it to finish, right? I'm not just pausing, I want it to actually finish. So what I'll do is actually touch my reverse key right here. It goes backwards and then forwards. Then I'm going to use my scissors to trim. Lift up my presser foot. You can see that there's a definite back stitch at the beginning and at the end. Now, if I want a cleaner look, I'm actually going to go for that reinforcement stitch. So I'll go ahead and put this back underneath my foot, and I'm going to bump this up to 03. 03 has the dot at the beginning and the dot at the end that you see right here. Okay, so again, that means that the needle is staying in the same position before it continues to sew. Put my presser foot down, and let's see what happens. Notice it stays. Now it goes forward. And now I want it to go ahead and tell the machine that I'm stopping. I'm done sewing. So I go ahead and hit the reinforcement key and put some gas on there. And it does the same up and down stitches in that same spot and trim with my red scissors. Lift it up. And again, you can notice same stitch, right? But this has a much cleaner look to it than this one does. Now, there's going to be times when you really want that to be reinforced in that manner. And there's times such as if you're doing decorative stitching, for example, or blanket stitching. I don't want the stitches to go over top of each other. And that's why I love using the reinforcement stitch instead. Let's take a look at stitch number 4. Stitch number 4 has 3 lines that are side by side. What this means is this is what's called the triple stitch. So I'll go ahead and take that to a 4, and let's see what this stitch looks like. Notice that the stitch is going back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth over top of one another. As you can imagine, what this is going to do is actually give a really nice heavy look to my stitching. Notice the difference. That's a pretty dramatic difference, actually. This is just a single straight stitch. This is the triple stitch. Where I will use this oftentimes is when I want to do a really beautiful top stitch, or if I'm trying to reinforce seams, such as around armpits or in the crotch area of pants, and I need a nice reinforcement stitch, the triple stitch is my go-to. Something else I want to mention is that when I am in straight stitch mode, if I want to actually move my needle in short, tiny increments, I can actually do that. And in order to do that, all I have to do is I'm at a 00 stitch, but I change my width. So I'm going to come over here underneath width. And when I press these buttons, I want you to take a really close look at what's happening to the needle. And notice my needle position is shifting. And I can do it back and forth. And all I'm doing is, because I'm changing the width, but it's on a straight stitch, I can move those needle positions. Isn't that wonderful? Now I can really be precise with where I want my needle to be.